Morning, everyone. I hope you are all okay. So, shall we get started with our English lesson for today? We're going to start by doing a bit of a vocab blast, and hopefully you'll already be a bit familiar with some of these words that we've got on the board, because I've chosen some of them from our English learning that we're doing at the moment. So here on the left, you can hopefully see one of our words, and the word that I'm circling now is asteroid. Can you say that? Asteroid. So asteroid is what you can see here in this picture, and it is basically a big rock, okay, a large rock. And sometimes they can travel from space to Earth, and they can crash into Earth and leave maybe like a crater, just like a hole in the earth sometimes, okay? And they can be all different sizes. So some asteroids can be really small, some can be really big. It's basically a big lump of rock, okay? So here we've got another word in the middle, and this word is rocket. Your turn. So a rocket, as we can see in this picture below here, is a form of transport which astronauts use to go up into space. Okay, it's just a very, very quick form of transport. And the final word we're going to have a look at is astronaut. Your turn. So an astronaut is a person who travels into space. Okay, and you can see that they've got their lovely spacesuit on here to help them. So we're going to have a go at making sure we can read this sentence and checking which is the correct word for this definition. So I'll have a go at reading it. Okay, so this sentence says people who travel into space. So people who travel into space, are they called asteroids, rockets, or astronauts? Which one is it? So hopefully you've worked out they are called astronauts. Okay, so astronauts are people who travel into space. We've now got a form of transport to get to the moon. So a transport to get to the moon. Hopefully you've said a rocket. We've got another one, which is a large rock, which travels around the sun. Large rock, which one did I say that one was? Hopefully you said asteroid. Well done. So I've just had so much amazing work sent through to me in the past few days that I just couldn't help but share some of them with you, so you can see what all your friends have been doing at home. Okay, so you can see that there's been lots of great English work going on from last week, looking at those homophones that we're looking at. Got some fabulous maths, and this person here has even got their mum, who I know has helped draw the tens frame, so he's got a great mum at home helping him with all this fabulous work. And this person's had a go at writing their super numbers underneath. Here, this person's been doing some great maths as well with tens frames and part whole models. And these two different children out of our class have been super, and they've had a go at making their cars using different things that they can find at home. And I can see they've been very creative with what they've got. And I particularly like this one here, because not only have we got the toy car, but you've got that my beautiful phonics video in the background, which is just super. Okay, so we're going to move forward today with our learning. Hopefully you'll be able to send me some fantastic things in from today as well. So yesterday, if you remember, we got a letter that was sent to the classroom, and just have a little think about who was that letter from and why did we get it. So have a little think about that. Okay, so hopefully you should have said that we got a letter from Astrid, if you can remember, and she had told us, hadn't she, that she had successfully been able to travel up into space and become an astronaut, just like her mum and some other people that we learned about in her book, which was very exciting. And she wanted to create a fact file to send to other children, so that if they wanted to become astronauts themselves, then they could find out information in this book, or if they wanted to learn more fun facts about space, they'd have somewhere to look. And she gave us a task, didn't she, that she wanted us to have a little go at finding some facts to put in our own fact files. So yesterday, what we asked you to do was to go through lots of fact files and work out what a non-fiction text was. And hopefully lots of you did that, and I've had lots sent in as well, which is great. And we were identifying the different features of non-fiction books. So here on the screen, you should be able to see now that I've got some different features of non-fiction books here on my screen. So here in the left-hand corner, can anyone remember what this is called when we have like a mini title? Hopefully you've said a subheading. Okay, so mini titles are subheadings. They tell us what the section underneath is going to be about. Here, we've got a list of keywords and the pages they're on. Hopefully you know that that is now an index page. Here we've got the heading. Okay, so at the top of the front cover we've got a heading, so it's a bit like a title of a book. We've also got a content page. So this content page tells us what page we need to look in and what's in the book. And some non-fiction books, which some of you might have found yesterday, have glossaries where they have keywords and then definitions as well. So hopefully you found lots of those features at home and you could remember those from yesterday as well. But I just also want to just have a little recap about what happens at the end of my story. Okay, so I'm going to open my book up now. I'm just going to flip back because we got to the point, didn't we, where Astrid was going with her dad to go and find her mum. And I know we read the end of the story yesterday, but I just love this book so much that I just want us to recap from here to the end so that we are familiar with it. Okay, so we got to here where Astrid and her father were at the airbase, and they moved to the front of the crowd just in time for the doors to be open, and out walked 3 people. And we made some predictions about who they were. And yesterday we found out, didn't we, that one of these people was Astrid's mum. Okay, Mama, shouted Astrid. They hugged and she gave her mum a big kiss. Oh, I've missed you, Astrid said. And we could tell by what Astrid's mum was wearing that she is an astronaut. And the other people who were potentially in that picture must have been astronauts as well. I want to be an astronaut just like you. You're my hero, Astrid said to her mum. And then we found out, didn't we? Lots of facts, because Astrid grew up to be an astronaut, which was oh so exciting, and hence that's why we got that letter. So now we need to have a little think, because we are going to start creating our fact files and start planning them this week. So I want you to think, we already know a few things about being an astronaut, but what else do you want to find out? Because that's the information that we're going to be putting in our fact files this week when we start writing them. So have a little think, just spend a few minutes. What do you want to find out about space travel and being an astronaut? So just have a little think about that. Okay, if you need some time to pause it here, just press pause. I'm going to continue. So you might have said that you wanted to find out lots and lots of different things, and it's pretty endless. But you might have wanted to say, what do people wear in space? Where do astronauts travel to? How long are people in space for? What do astronauts eat? Where do astronauts travel to? How many people have been up in space? Who has traveled up into space? You could have had numerous questions, okay? But what's really important today is we're thinking of 3 subheadings that we could have in our fact files, okay? So I only want 3 subheadings today. And these 3 subheadings I want you to think really carefully about, because these are the 3 ones that you are going to be writing your fact files about, okay? So here I've got my question hands, which you might remember from when we looked at them last week. And these have got key question words that go at the start of my question. So we're going to be using these to write our subheadings. So our subheadings are going to be questions, okay? So we're building on that learning that we've had before. So here are some question words we might want to have. We could have how, could, should, would, is, or does. We might even have what, when, why, where, who, or which. Now remember, these question words come at the start of a question and at the end of a question, we use a question mark. Okay, so it's really important that in our subheadings, we're punctuating them correctly. I've got some keywords that we might want to use as well, such as people, astronauts, and where. Okay, as in the verb to wear something. So based on our ideas and your thoughts, we're going to write our 3 questions in each of these boxes here. So I've got, as hopefully you can see, I've got one box here, another box here, and another box here. So this is going to be where you're writing your subheadings, because tomorrow you're going to be writing in these boxes. Okay, so please don't write anything in them today. You're just writing in the top yellow sections today. So we're going to have a go at thinking of our 3 questions that you might want to include. I'm going to have a go at typing them in these boxes. Your questions can be the same as mine, or you might want to do something different. All right, but remember, we're writing our questions, so we need to think of a question word at the beginning. So I'm going to use the question word what, okay, which is just here on my mat, and I will highlight it. So here's the question word what. So I'm going to write, what do people is on my word mat up here, so I'm going to spell that correctly. People eat in space. Oh, let me sound out eat. Eat, and my E isn't actually an E and an E, it's an E and an A digraph, okay? Eat in space. I could write space like this, space, but actually it's a split digraph. And when it's a split digraph, it makes that C make a S sound. So what do people eat in space? So I've got my question word at the beginning, and I need to use my question mark at the end. So I'm going to check that. What do people eat in space? So there is my subheading number 1. Then I need another subheading. So I'm going to think, I know. I'm going to use a different word this time. I'm going to use the question word how. Okay, and this time I'm going to say, how do people travel in space, or travel, in space, my question word at the end. Okay, and I want one more question. What do people eat in space? How do people travel in space? You know what I want to know, and I'm going to be a bit naughty and use what again, but I'm going to use what do astronauts have to wear? Yeah, what do astronauts have to wear? So no, they have to wear their spacesuits, but is there anything else that astronauts have to wear? I wonder. So they're my 3 questions, okay? And you should have a sheet that looks like this. These are on the school website for you to access at home. And pop your 3 subheadings at the top of the sheet. So you need to think of 3 subheading questions today, because tomorrow we're going to be gathering lots of facts to help you do your writing. So it's really important you think about them. They can be the same as my questions, or you can choose different questions. It's completely up to you, okay? Don't forget to send us a picture of your super work and send it across, so that we know what you're going to be including in your fact files. Have fun doing this task at home, everyone, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.